Courtney, I really like how you frame those little losses in practice every day and being consistent. I want to talk big picture. London Olympics, after you guys lost the gold medal match, can you take us through kind of your thought process, sitting in your dorm room, kind of reflecting back on the match?
I'm glad you asked about that. That's actually one of my, in a weird way, my most inspiring moments, I guess. For our team in 2012, I think we were super talented and we did really well a lot of the time. We were ranked number 1. We had won a bunch, but we never responded very well when we were really tested. And so when we got pushed in the gold medal match, we couldn't quite come together. And so losing sucks always, but I think when you really leave it out there and you know as a team you did everything to help each other and you kind of go through that together, there's kind of a peace about it. Like, hey, we did this the right way, I think when you're trying to learn something and you're trying to become great at anything, you realize that it's really the long haul. And greatness is in the consistency and the approach day to day. And it's never like this moment, this like glorious moment where you're like, oh, I've arrived. It's coming to the gym every single day and having that approach that no matter what, I'm going to do my best to learn and I'm going to get better. And whether we win the world championship or we get our butts kicked in the Grand Prix before that, we're going to hopefully have the same approach. And that's how I think you get to do really special things. And so for me, okay, I was going to say, I feel like in the volleyball sense, I hit rock bottom. Now that sounds super dramatic, but to me, it was like I didn't make the roster or I had never traveled with the number 1 team or on and on and on. And so for me, I had to kind of reevaluate, like, okay, what am I doing here? How can I learn from this? And when I failed at that level, the national team level, when I perceived to be kind of like, this is it, I wanted to run away. I wanted to quit. I wanted to blame the coaches. I wanted to do all these things. But at the end of the day, when I had some meaningful conversations with Hugh McCutcheon at the time and then my dad, it wasn't about anything outside of what I was doing, and if you're kind of approaching it as I'm going to do my best every single day, no matter what, then you can handle those disappointments and keep moving. Karch talked about a quote today that said, success is moving from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. Where you get all these talented people that maybe haven't had a lot of failure before and then get to see how they react the first time they don't get picked or they don't do very well or they have a tough season. And so, I don't know, I've been really thankful to see a lot of cool stuff.
So how do you react to failure?
I think what I've learned, I guess, or have tried to learn and am trying to do now is like, before it just felt a lot more emotional and black and white, like, oh, this means X, Y, and Z and all these assumptions about, what the coaches think or what this means for your future. And I don't know, we've learned a lot about the growth mindset, and what I do now is try to be a little bit emotionally detached and just find the lesson as quick as possible and then get on to the things that I know I can control and put all of my energy into those things instead of spending time on who's better than me, what I didn't do well, or, certainly we want to learn, but I don't know. It's just, I think a lot of kids especially spend a lot of time on things that they really can't control, and it just does them a disservice to reaching their full potential, You
use the word emotionally detached. What do you mean by that? Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, when I think of failing, I think of like in a big, like, you don't win the championship is one thing, and then another thing is just every day, like if you're in practice, let's say I lose a drill or I keep messing. Yeah, no, I've actually, I don't know, when I was younger, I wasn't actually ever the most talented volleyball player on my team. Growing up, I just loved all sports. And I used to look at college players when I was in high school and think, wow, like every young player, like how do they do that? They make it look so easy. I'm sure they never felt this way or doubted themselves or had a bad game, whatever. And then you kind of get there and you're like, oh crap, like we all still feel that. And then the same thing looking at like the Olympic level. Like I remember in college thinking, oh, these guys probably roll up to the gym, thinking, oh, I've been to the Olympics. Like what more? I got this all figured out. And I don't know. What I've learned is that the higher level you play out, the more you fail. And it's been fun for me to kind of, with the national team especially, it's like this weird experiment where you get all these talented people that maybe haven't had a lot of failure before and then get to see how they react the first time they don't get picked or they don't do very well or they have a tough season. And so I don't know. I've been really thankful to see a lot of cool stuff.